I want to read to you something that came out
Okay.
right after the Falcons decided to take Michael Penix Jr.
Uh,
This is by Bleacher Report. Falcons GM
okay.
suggests Michael Penix could sit, quote, 4 or 5 years behind Kirk
Mm,
Cousins.
mm-hmm.
Huh?
What pick?
You drafted this guy number 8.
Oh, that's
like,
right. He was number
like
8.
you
Yeah, I don't
drafted
know why
him
they did that.
number 8 to sit for 4 to 5 years?
That's nuts.
I don't.
Honestly.
Okay, like there are some people that are doing a little bit of revisionist history, right? Yeah, so he's going to be 30. Like Michael Penix will be, older than me, like by
Yep.
the time that he starts.
He's gonna be
Like,
30.
like some people are doing this revision. Oh well, the Packers they drafted. It's like Jordan Love was like 21, 22 years old when they drafted him, and then by the time he's ready to play of last year, then he's entering his prime. Michael Penix, I think, is as old, and maybe I'm wrong on this. You can double check this. Michael Penix is as old right now, I think, as Jordan Love was going into this year. I think that's right. Like Michael Penix is like 24, 25. He's Michael Penix.
He's turning 24 on May 8th, so call it 24.
Michael Penix is 24 years old. And we're saying we want this guy to sit for 4 years.
And Jordan Love is now 25.
Right, so he's basically the same age, right? Like Jordan Love is 25 now, so last year he would have been 24. So like it's not the same thing. We're dealing and it also sets a bad standard for your quarterback room. I mean, like
they're gonna have like
Kirk Cousins is sitting there like, okay, like do you even believe in me? Like,
yeah,
I'm basically just here until I die, right? Until I get hurt. And then Michael Penix, like that's not a good situation for him. Like if he's in a pressure situation, your quarterback goes down. Well, you better learn quick, Mike. you better learn fast. Like it's I just don't get it. I don't understand it at all.
Couldn't tell you.
It's just like, and when I read that, it was like as if I was taking crazy pills.
Yeah, I think the Falcons GMs, owners, management are all smoking crack. That's just my take.
And it's like, think of what you could have used that on. I mean, just looking at the guys that went out, you could have gone offensive line. You could have gotten another wide receiver. They already are loaded in skill positions. They got Bijan. They got Kyle Pitts. They got Drake London. But you could have added on. I mean,
you could have had just a super team on offense.
Like you could have drafted again. You could have drafted O-line. You could have drafted edge. You could have drafted corner. You could have drafted any number, like literally anything else other than quarterback, and you managed to pick that.
And
you probably could have even gotten Penix. Like,
oh yeah,
after the Falcons, like the only other quarterback that was taken after the Falcons, I think, was JJ. JJ and Bo Nix. Two guys that both those teams had already settled on. Like they weren't going to take Penix. Maybe 2 to 3 years from now, we'll all look stupid, and the Falcons will have Michael Vick 2.0, even though that's not the kind of quarterback that Penix is. Yeah, he's not. He's not a running quarterback.
I understand what you're saying, but like I don't think, not in a million years is that going to happen.
Right, especially given the fact that like I have no trust in the Falcons management to begin with. Not to mention they hire Raheem Morris, who his only head coaching experience has been bad. Right? Like has been not good. So it's like you're piling on things. You're piling on things that just aren't fun.
Who knows?
This is a good point, Armenia, man. If they were gonna pick a quarterback to sit, it should have been JJ. Like he's young. He needs the time to sit anyway. He's still, kind of a developmental guy. And that's why the Vikings end up getting him, and it makes a lot of sense for them because they have Darnold on a 1-year deal, who's going to be serviceable, especially with those weapons. Yeah, like it's a perfect spot for JJ, and like I just like somehow I don't understand why. And they signed Darnold to a 1-year deal. Like they didn't just sign Darnold to a 4-year, $100 million extension. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, it's smoking crack. That's all I can attribute it to. Seriously, but I mean, minus them, nothing. Well, I guess, and the Broncos too. The Broncos have like 4 QBs now in their QB room.
Yeah, they got Zach Wilson, they got Bo Nix, and they got who was the guy they had last year after they benched Russ? I can't even think of the guy's name.
I can't either.
It's like Joe Magoo.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Broncos QBs.
I think it was like Stidham, Jarrett Stidham. That's right. Thank you, Armenia man. Yeah, Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, so it's Zach Wilson, Bo Nix, and Jarrett.
I mean, like Zach I don't get the Zach Wilson stuff. I mean, I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Whenever that happened, like it doesn't make much sense to me why you're even bringing him in. Like, especially given the fact that they took Bo Nix. Like, maybe like back then they didn't know if he was going to drop to them. But I don't that
I couldn't tell you.
It just seems like there's a lot of teams that I mean, I understand it from the sense of like when you don't have a quarterback, you do stupid things. It's like when it's like you mentioned crack, it is like a drug addict, right? Like you're just like you need that quarterback. You'll do anything to get a quarterback. You'll get desperate. You'll start to close and squint your eyes when you think of Zach Wilson. You start watching BYU highlights.
You're just like, wow.
Like it's like, whoa, he's really good. Until
then you're
like you open your eyes a little wider and you realize he's playing in an empty stadium against, the little sisters of Helen Keller and Sadness.
Yeah.
But no,
anyway.
I mean, as far as other questionable moves, honestly, like I think outside of that, it was pretty like, yeah, I understand all these moves. I will say one thing.
There was none other that I could think of.
There was one thing that made me very sad, and it wasn't really that I didn't think the move was the right move for that team.
Yep.
It was more for my own personal growth as a person and my own feelings and emotions.
Let's hear it.
Philadelphia Eagles, they took my boy. They took my baby boy. They took Cooper DeJean.
Yep.
My baby boy.
Yep.
I think I heard or I saw a post of like who's done more for sports, Tiger Woods, Jackie Robinson, or Cooper DeJean.
There was a
civil rights hero.
Yeah, there was a reporter who asked Cooper DeJean about being a starting white cornerback.
I know what you're talking about.
He's like you're the first one in like however many years, and then he just sitting there
probably
like
since before like the last starting corner that was white probably was before they allowed black people to play.
Yeah, and he was just sitting there. He's just like, if I get out there and I get to play, like he answered it great, but I'm like, what kind of stupid question is that?
Okay, again, I think he's going to be a fine player with Philly. He got a first-round grade.
He'll be good.
He's definitely athletic, and all jokes aside, I mean, Iowa defensive players, you can't go wrong. That place knows how to make defensive players.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
But I thought it was sad because I hate the Eagles and I hate Philly sports because that city is
and now they have
absolutely insane. And now they have my baby boy, my beloved. If the Lions didn't get like Rakestraw, I would have liked them to take DeJean. Mostly because I think it would be funny, which is why they don't make me the GM. I just talk about things.
Yeah.
But I wanted to take a look at this tweet here. This comes out every year, basically. It's the NFL draft grade GPA. And it's just this massive chart where they get a bunch of different publications and like writers, and they just put all of the draft grades that they put out and they make a GPA out of it. So because immediately we want to look where our teams are at. The Chargers finished 7th. They had what looks like, I believe, a 3.57 or
something like that.
I can't really tell because it's hard to like.
It's a 3.5.
Yeah, it's in the top 7. The Lions finished 11th. Some of the teams in the bottom. Obviously, we were just talking about them. The Atlanta Falcons. They did get 1A from Vinny Iyer of Sporting News.
Fire that guy.
I don't know who Vinny Iyer is. But
no one is going to because he's not going to be writing for sports anymore.
Right.
How old do you give him an A?
I don't think there was any Fs. I can't see. The worst grade that was given out was a D- to the Falcons from Charles McDonald of Yahoo Sports. But I don't know. I think this is kind of interesting. Bottom 3, we've already mentioned the Falcons. The Browns were down there, which is not great if you're the Browns. So that's a team that really needs to improve off of what was a pretty surprising season. Carolina Panthers, obviously. I'm a little surprised at where the Broncos landed. They're landing 28th. I guess it's like a little bit of recency bias with some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm also a little surprised with the Bills. I kind of like what the Bills did, minus trading out of the first round. I thought that was kind of weird.
They got Keon Coleman, which I think is pretty cool.
They
so
did.
I have to
they got
hardly be a Bills fan for that, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you mean? He's a Florida State Seminole. He didn't go to any other school.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
But
I went to school in
and
Michigan,
one more. I want to say one more thing because I just noticed the Saints here. So
Yes.
the Saints took Spencer Rattler late in the draft, and I just like maybe I'll look like an ass for this later on, but like I don't understand why people suddenly think Spencer Rattler is good. I feel like I'm getting gaslit. It's like the guy transferred out of like 3 different schools, like multiple schools. Clearly he didn't, and he ends up in South Carolina, and then eventually he figures out how to be like pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like I don't, maybe he'll turn out to be good. I don't know. I just had to mention that in case there's any Spencer Rattler truthers. I'd love to know. Like why do I have to believe in a guy?
To be honest.
And he was a guy that was supposed to be like, I remember when it was like his rookie year, maybe his second year at Oklahoma, he's supposed to be like a first overall pick.
I remember
and he just completely dropped.
Yep.
It's like it was like him and who's the Sam Darnold or not Sam Darnold, Sam Howell. I get my bad quarterback's name Sam mixed up. But it was like those two guys were like, oh, this draft class is gonna be. It's like those two guys didn't even. Don't even. They're well. I guess we'll see about Rattler, but Howell was not even on the team that he got picked by. So, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, for the most part,
I mean, like the Steelers. So. Look at the Steelers. 3.92. I mean, they really bolster that O line. They're trying to build around Russell Wilson. I don't know if it's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it works out. I am a little scared of the Bears. Obviously,
those Bears are going to be pretty good if Caleb Williams is good.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And I mentioned it on last week's clip is that Caleb Williams has the potential to just end up being a bust because of the fact that, for one, he's getting drafted by the Bears. And the Bears have not ever had a good quarterback. I'm pretty sure that's like if you can look through their I think their best quarterback since they won the Super Bowl was like Rex Grossman, which is not great.
No,
but at the same time, they've also I don't think they've picked number 1 overall at any point.
That is true.
Since then, and Caleb Williams, I mean, clearly he was at least very good in college. He seems like a surefire thing, and that's why I get nervous because sometimes these guys they get told they're pretty all the time, and then they get into the NFL, and suddenly you're strip sacked, and you're angry with your teammates, and nobody likes you, and you're Justin Fields.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that like every Justin Fields stan just is like
it's just
gone.
Yep.
I
reduced.
Remember when he got an MVP vote? I just want I will never let that go. Like the fact that he got an MVP vote for running around like a chicken without his head on is ridiculous, and I will never let NFL media away with that. Yep. Never.
Understandable.
This is true. The only thing the Bears need is an O-line, and they don't have one. So that is going to be their downfall if they're going to have one. But they still have a lot of wide receivers. I mean, obviously they bring Odunze, and they got Keenan Allen, and they got DJ Moore, and they got the Cole Kmet, tight end. So they got weapons. I don't know who's on their defense. But
not
whatever.
Anyone I think that's major. At least when
I mean, like they went 7-2. That's not true. They didn't win a lot of games last year. I think they went 7-10.
That sounds right. Yeah, 7 or maybe 8 wins.
Yeah, they weren't good. But they're definitely one of the more improved teams for sure.
100%.
And I don't. I like this GPA thing. I think it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I like it.
Edmund Sweat. Oh yeah, that's right. Montez Sweat. That's right. Thank you, Armenian man. This is why you're helpful to us.
Yep.
You can use the internet. We have to talk. Not like we are using the internet.
Yeah, well,
Hauser.
That's all right.
Any other things you want to talk about with the draft? Any exciting things?
Nope. That's all I got.
No. What are we thinking? Just immediate reactions of like. Which team is going to be that surprise playoff team, and then which team will just collapse into the sun? Like, will just like fall apart. This draft is going to be looked at as like a total failure.
That's a great question. I don't feel like I can well, if it's based on the draft, I still don't know, I guess. But I was thinking like it's hard to say because you don't know what's gonna happen in the off season.
Right, right. There's still
But
technically time with training camp and
yeah,
et cetera, et cetera.
I don't know though. As far as maybe
I have a team, but
okay.
I want you to say one first. Just because
As far as a
let's
surprise team goes, maybe well, that's not really a surprise team. I mean, I'd like to say this based on the season that we had last year, Chargers,
hmm,
but
that's
like
fair. That's fair.
I don't. That's just based on the season that we've had. I don't know. I
Right.
can't think of. I don't know.
I
Who
got
you
one
got?
for you.
Who you got?
I got Arizona. I think they bring in a
Okay.
wide receiver one in Harrison.
Mhm.
Let me just take a look at the rest of their picks. I know they went either defense or offensive line.
Mhm.
Uh, like I don't know. Yeah, they get Darius Robinson as well
Mhm.
in the first round. Like I just really like what they
Maybe.
did.
Yeah.
I think they could be a little bit of a sneaker pick. And
Yeah. Yeah.
we don't know whether or not Kyler Murray he's one of the
If
most
he's
elusive
healthy,
quarterbacks. Yeah,
yeah.
but it's like, is he even like good? Like I don't know. Like he's had like one good offensive season.
I think he can be if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
That's
Although
just me
I mean
though.
he's like my height, so it's like
Yeah.
that's not going to be easy. But
That doesn't help.
hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.